Riley Hawk, welcome to the Hell Fucking Yeah podcast. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. So those who don't know, Riley's the son of the biggest skateboarder in the world, Tony Hawk. I'm sure you get asked this a million times, but what was it like growing up being Tony Hawk's son?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's definitely probably the most common question I get asked, but
Sure.
It was weird but normal because, I mean, it's just all I knew. So, a
Right.
normal lifestyle would probably feel weirder to me than that did,
As far as like being in school and things like that, I've seen a couple of things with you where you said, you didn't talk about it, but if someone
Yeah.
asked, you would obviously tell them. But did you have trouble finding people believing you, or?
No, I mean, I didn't really care if they believe me or not, I guess,
Right.
But then again, I was never saying it. It's just if someone asked, then I would say yes, but that's about it. It wasn't like I don't know, it wasn't something I use as an identity at all. Just like was part of my life, I guess,
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously you've become an individual on your own. So when did you start skating?
Man, I had been pretty young, probably like 3 or 4 or something.
Wow.
But I mean, it's kind of always been like around in my life, it's more so just, it was like always this thing that was there, but probably like really skating when I was like, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Did you start off with skating, or did you try anything else, or even to this day, is there anything
Yeah,
else?
I mean, I still do all kinds of shit, like surf, snowboard when I can, or whatever, dirt biking or motorcycles. When I was younger, definitely just did whatever was fun. I just did it, played
Sure.
some sports like basketball and baseball and shit, and just a normal kid that just did whatever was fun.
Absolutely, man. So you're more known as like a street skater, while your dad is mainly like vert, ramps and things like that. So what drew you to the street style?
I don't know. I think it was just like more what was going on at the time when I was growing up skating, and it's just way more easily accessible. Like I guess I could have skated vert ramps if I wanted to, but
Sure.
it's just something about like you just go outside in front of your house, you just throw your board down and start skating. That's like how most people get into it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to
You don't
build
need
a
anything.
ramp, or
Yeah.
you just need the board and
Yeah, a curb
balance.
can be an obstacle for hours on end, or a little ledge or whatever.
Sure. To this day, do you do vert at all?
Yeah, I mean, I could drop in and maybe do an air or two, but I'm not like actively pursuing it. But it's fun. I wish I could, get the motivation to want to learn more and more, but it's hard and it's scary. It's kind of like harder, I think, later in your life to start learning it. It's one of those things might be easier to adapt when you're younger, like most things.
Sure. Now you have a few sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Who are your sponsors?
The main sponsors would be like Baker Skateboards, Lakai Shoes, and Brixton Clothing. And they're like independent trucks and Spitfire wheels. It's kind of like the
So
basis
you got
of
a few.
yeah, just like kind of all the things you need, I guess, to step on a skateboard and go.
Absolutely. Can we expect any videos soon or anything like that, or anything out recently that we should check out?
I've been working on a video that's kind of been nothing too crazy, like not a huge project, but me and my buddy who I've filmed most of my video parts with that I grew up skating with have been working on something. We're kind of just taking it as it comes, not really like, trying to rush anything.
Sure. So a few years back, you were in Milan, right? You suffered a pretty serious injury. Were you filming a video, or were you just there skating?
Yeah, then we were filming a video. We were filming for this Lakai video. That was probably like one of the bigger videos I've been in. And then just recently the Baker video came out and I was in that one. So those are two, I guess, somewhat recent things that I was in.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what happened during the injury?
I mean, it's kind of funny because I was filming a trick and I did the trick and landed it. And it's funny because the trick is actually in the video part and I landed kind of weird. And I was like, oh, let's just try it again. We're here. And just kept trying a few more. And then that's when I got hurt. So it's funny when you like try and do something again that you already did, and then you get fucking hurt. You feel pretty dumb, but
Right.
You can't control what's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Did you you wound up hurting your ankles, right?
Yeah, my left ankle, I messed up pretty bad out there, and it was, yeah, pretty painful. And it's always really scary and weird being hurt in a foreign country because you're at the
Oh
doctor,
yeah.
and
Oh
the language barrier is kind of intense, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? They're
yeah.
gonna cut my leg off. I don't know what the hell is happening. It's just like you're in pain, and you're just kind of like high strung and a lot of tension, so you're kind of stressed out. But I mean, they're amazing. The doctors there were
Yeah.
super great, and they just kind of, it's always hard too when you're like an athlete or a skateboarder, because doctors, they don't understand like what you do. They don't really understand the level of what your body needs to do. So like a normal person, they'd be like, oh, we're gonna whatever, do this, throw a fucking metal plate in it, and then like you'll maybe just have some pain here and there. But it's not like I'm, you know, a normal person in the sense where I need my body to do some weird shit sometimes.
Sure. So you actually wound up getting replacements, right, on your
I
ankles?
got some, yeah, it's like these fake ligaments that go
Okay.
in, and I have them in my right ankle actually, and I got the ones in my right ankle first, so that's why I knew that once it happened on my left, I just kind of like knew how the process worked, and I called the doctor that did it the first time, and I was like, let's just do this, just get it over with.
Sure. And how's recovery been? You pretty much good to
Yeah,
go?
yeah, yeah, it's been
Good.
great.
Good.
I mean, that was like shit, I don't even know, at least 3 or 4 years ago, I think
Okay.
now. So
Yeah.
it's been good. I've been healthy and skating as much as I can. And, I'm 27, so I'm not like extremely young for a skateboarder, but young enough to where my body still feels pretty decent.
Sure. Um, so let's change the subject. Let's talk about the music a little bit.
Mm,
Warish,
mm,
a psychedelic rock band, or many people call it different things, sludge rock or
mm.
whatever. But you're the front man. Fucking band is awesome, man.
Oh, thank you.
Super melodic, loud, a lot of fun. Really
Mm,
reminiscent of like 80s, to me at least, to like 80s, like like skate punk kind of thing, suicidal tendencies, like
totally.
that. So when did the band form?
The band would have formed probably maybe like 2 years ago or so, two and
Okay.
a half. So it's pretty relatively new. Yeah, it was kind of like not even really meant to be a band. I just like recorded some stuff in my garage, like these kind of demo things, and gave them to my buddy who runs a label that is called Writing Easy Records that I've known for a long time. And he always just said, hey, if you ever had anything you want to put out, like let's give it to me, we'll try it out, and put out some stuff. And people were seeming to enjoy it more than I thought they would. So then it was like, oh, maybe
Sure.
we should make it a band, and hit up our buddy that played bass. And there's a buddy that I knew, but not extremely well. So it was kind of cool to get to connect closer with him through the band and stuff. And then, yeah, and the next thing we knew, we were like touring on the road. And one of those things where you just kind of, it happened really quick. And we look back and we're like, oh shit, I'm glad we just like, I don't know, took a chance and just threw some songs out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are your biggest influences as far as you know making this kind of subgenre of rock?
Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely like um, bands like, obviously Black Sabbath and
Mm,
Nirvana, and bands that, even bands like the Beatles or something that had a lot of kind of poppiness to it that I like. I've always been a sucker for sure. Just like real catchy songs. But then I'm really into, stuff like Electric Wizard and really kind of brutal, like not brutal, I guess you would say, but just heavy, like kind of doomy, dark loudness sounds, and that. And then obviously bands like Bad Brains, and just
sure.
kind of like a weird fusion of all the music I listen to, I guess. I don't think it's like it was intentional. I think it's just what my brain like created after wanting to hear all those sounds at once, kind of.
Absolutely. That's what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there's an obvious connection between extreme sports and heavy rock and things like that.
Hmm.
Both things hold a certain thrill or emotion. So solely based on the feeling you get from either skating or playing music, which one is more of a thrill for you? Or
I
are they
mean,
kind of both the same?
definitely skating is just one of those
Sure.
things that brings a a fear and adrenaline that is like nothing else you can really experience from what I've learned in life of all the things I've done. It's just like there's a feeling of, I don't know, I mean, it is, you know, intimidating when you go out to play a show or whatever, but you're kind of like, yeah, at the end of the day, I just like, if it sucks and I blow it, you're just kind of like embarrassed more than anything. It's like weird, but skating, when it's just like you, a filmer, and maybe two buddies watching, and you're like about to try and skate maybe like a rail or something that's really scary, and it's kind of just that moment of like accepting you're either going to get really hurt or you're going to just do it, and like you kind of just go, and it's like a feeling that I don't think a lot of people experience in their life, of that type of adrenaline, to where you know, they call it, it's like a blackout when you're skating, where you like do a trick and you're rolling away and you're kind of just like, you don't even remember doing it because you were such an adrenaline rush. And I think that for me is personally what I've found is the most like intense form of that feeling.
Sure, absolutely. You know, you brought up a good point there. I never thought of that. Like, if you mess up on stage, you know, you can get booed, right? But if you mess up skating, well, I know whatever, but
hurts,
if you mess up
skating, the ego a little bit, but
yeah. If you mess up skating, you get like, you know, almost like, holy shit, man, you did it, you know?
Yeah, a boo hurts a lot less than concrete, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you released an album and an EP last year, and a single this year as well.
Yeah.
If we ever get back to normal, which I don't know, any tours or anything planned or anything like big in the works? Like,
we actually literally yesterday just got back all the mastered tracks of our second album that's officially done. It's like, I think 13 songs, and it's pretty good and full. I like it. It's like a lot more three-dimensional than the first one. Has a lot more kind of like different sounds and different types of songs, not necessarily just like this one pace, because that was what a lot of people felt of the first one. And it was just, the first one felt more like, wasn't even meant to be a record. It was just like all these songs that just happened to like blend together. And this one feels a lot more fluid, as something that is just like coherent to each other, but not too much in a sense that it feels the same.
Sure. So, I mean, obviously you definitely took like a different approach to this one, making it like a record feel than just kind of, I like all these songs, like a mixtape, you know?
Yeah. And I think I thought out like what songs should go after what songs a little more. And at the end of the day, they are just like kind of, you know, punk rock songs with a little bit of like a upbeat kind of like pop feel, but more, I guess, whatever people call it, grungy or whatever it is. You know, we get compared to a lot of weird stuff where I'm like, oh, it's interesting. I never thought about that.
Stoner rock, stuff like that.
It's funny when people tell you what your influences are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you, so we can set the record straight.
Yeah, no, but it's cool. I like hearing what people's interpretations are of what they think it sounds like, you know?
Yeah. So where can we all hear it? Like what's ever out right now? Is there, besides digital, is there vinyl or anything like that?
Yeah, so the first one's out on vinyl and everything. Okay. And then we're hoping within the next few weeks we'll release like the first single of the new stuff we did. And yeah, we're kind of just in discussion of what to do with the second record, because like you said, who knows what 2021 even is going to be. And at the end of the day, I don't want to just sit on it and just like hope for something and chase the dragon of like, oh, we're going to tour it. Like, I just want it to be out. People are listening to shit. It's not like it's not like music's done. It's just the live aspect is. So I don't know. I think almost in a way it could be good of like, it has two booms. It's like comes out, and then once touring starts happening again, maybe people will like revisit it when it comes time for us to like hit the road. I don't know. No, I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you been on any big tours or?
We toured with Acid King. That was like our first big tour. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
And then after that, we did a tour with the Black Lips, and then we were supposed to do a tour with Mono Lord, like kind of like right now, like a whole US like month-long tour. But it was good. I think that it didn't happen in a sense because I don't think we would have finished the record how we did, and there would have been a lot of stuff that we need to figure out internally to make sure we're like good to go on the next tour. We would have kind of been rushing ourselves, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, I look forward to hearing the new one.
Cool, thank you.
And I hope you guys get to get on the road, man. That'd be
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's the goal for sure, but it's just if life allows us to.
Yeah. I'm in New York, so if I'll keep my eye on
Yeah. It seems like stuff's a little more normal over there than what people make it out to be. I have a couple friends that have just gone.
I'm on Long Island.
Mm.
It's pretty decent here, but like New
Yeah.
York City's a bit, you know, everything's still, a lot of things are closed down and still having problems having, you know, people go to restaurants and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
When it first happened, I mean, to see Times Square like completely desolate was
Bizarre.
pretty crazy, and it's still kind of empty compared to what it used to be.
Yeah,
you know, it was like a sardine can. You know, now it's like I don't know. It's scary, but
yeah.
Who wants to talk about that? Let's talk about the video game a little bit. You're in 4 Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the remake of 1 and 2,
mm-hmm.
and Tony Hawk HD, and the newer one, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. So, do you play any of them?
When I was younger, I played them, but I haven't played video games honestly in a while. I'm not someone that really sits down and does that, but it's because I just, when I can do other stuff, I try to. But like, if I get hurt skating and stuff, like I definitely will sit on my ass and like do shit like that because it helps pass the time. And I think they're great for time and place. But for me, I just have a lot of shit going on, so I don't find myself sitting down too much doing it. But I've like messed around with the new one. Like my dad had the early versions of it, and it's surreal to relive like you're a kid playing it. You know, so much stuff comes back. It's crazy.
Absolutely, especially with like the remakes of the originals. So I mean, you have to play as your own character, right?
Yeah, I don't think I did. I think when I played, mine wasn't done yet, so I was playing as like, who was it? Like Jeff Raleigh maybe or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. I remember playing that game when I was a little kid, and I loved like the cheat codes. You know, I don't know if you remember that, but you'd be able to just like
fly super high,
and just do like a 4 million point combo, and you probably crash when you land it, but it was insane.
The cheat codes are such a funny thing. I forgot about that part of life.
I played a little bit of the 5th one, and you were able to give like people like giant heads, and what the point of that is, I don't know, but it was fun.
Just to make it fun.
Yeah. It actually changed the physics of the game when you did that, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like you wouldn't go as high on the jumps. You know what I mean?
Your head was weighing you down.
Yeah. So what can we expect next from you, man? I mean, you do all this stuff. You do everything.
I guess hopefully that record will come out, and then another video skate part, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to work on that video, and the record's done. So now there's all kinds of stuff that we need to do with like, I don't personally do it, but they need to do on the promotional side. And then like, yeah, just all the art and just kind of get the feel together and maybe shoot a video or 2 or something for it. You know, that stuff always seems to be kind of a nightmare because I can never decide on an idea or pull the trigger. But yeah, just those 2, I guess, a video part hopefully, and then the record. And it's kind of, you know, nothing too crazy, but hopefully something people will be stoked on.
Definitely. Very cool. Yeah, I know everything's so uncertain. It's hard to
totally.
You know, pinpoint times or anything like that. But
yeah, I mean, I think the only thing certain is that I'm not going to not keep making music and skating and doing the things I do. It's just, I guess, a matter of how it is unfolded to the public eye, because it's just how the world works now. So
sure. So let's get into some like favorites. I know this is a tough one, and you can say a few or whatever. Favorite band?
Favorite band? I mean, it'd probably be between either Black Sabbath or Nirvana is like my favorite band, for not just musical reasons, but like so many others, and just a level of connecting to those 2 bands more than I ever have with any other, you know?
Sure. So one guitarist you'd love to jam with, dead or alive?
I mean, that's a good question. I've definitely jammed with some people that were shocking to me that I was standing in the same room as them.
Sure.
You know, I probably would have to be like Hendrix or something, just because it's just like, it's fucking Hendrix. Maybe or like Wayne Kramer, someone that would be pretty cool. he's alive, I can maybe make that happen in my lifetime. I don't know how, but who knows?
Get him on the next Warish record, man.
Just to see him fucking doing his thing and dancing would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. So favorite skating location, like if you had to pick one, like
I mean, for me, probably just San Diego, because where I grew up, and I just like, it's the kind of skating I like to do, you know, like schoolyards mixed with like ditches and kind of beach town spots. That's kind of like my upbringing, and seems to be what I always go back to when it comes to like working on a video part, you know?
Yeah. So I know you're not really into video games, but do you have another favorite game besides Tony Hawk?
I'm trying to think. I've played some games. Like, I mean, I played like Call of Duty when I was like a teenager, you know, a lot with my friends. There's like a golfing game I was playing recently with some friends. I like playing golf a lot, which is like a random thing that maybe people wouldn't expect. But I like golf like kind of a lot, like at least try to at least once a week.
Wow.
But once or twice a week. But yeah, there's like a golfing game that my buddy was like, oh, you got to try this new one. I think it's like the new whatever the like equivalent is to the NBA 2K, whatever's. It's like that, and it's pretty fun. It's like it's a good game, but that's kind of a stupid game because it's like you're supposed to be doing shit you can't do in real life.
Exactly.
You know, if I wanted to be bad at golf, I would just go play in real life. So, so yeah, it's kind of funny. But that game, I guess.
Yeah. So skater, rocker, surfer, golfer. Didn't expect that one, man.
I think golfing is my retirement plan when my body can't fucking function anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite curse word?
Favorite curse word? I try to not say fuck as much as I do, but that one slips out quite a bit. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but it's probably a word I use a little too much.
All right. That's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, that's usually the answer.
Yeah.
I use it way, way, way too much, but I'm trying to cut it down a little bit.
Same. I feel like I've done pretty well this interview, but I can't say.
You've been great. I fill it into like parts of sentences that it doesn't even belong, you know? So I've kind of started cutting that out, and now I got to work on cutting it out altogether. But I mean,
it's weird. I don't know how that happens. It's weird.
It does. It's like such a, it almost replaces
Yeah, it's like a little sprinkle on your sentence.
Yeah, it's like a comma. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. There we go. All right. So like I said, I pulled some pictures online or from your Instagram and things like that, and just wanted to talk about them. I'm going to describe them a little bit because if people don't watch the YouTube video, true. They're just listening. So here we have Riley sitting. Looks great. Obviously, like a magazine. Right? Is this Barney's? Yeah,
it was for Barney's thing. Yeah, I think they went out of business. I heard or something.
No shit, did they really?
But yeah, it was. It was a weird thing. Like sometimes I'll get hit up for these things where it's like a modeling thing or whatever. But I think it's generally they're like tying me into it somehow. But I don't know. They just like offer some money and like I'm like, it'd be nice to have that little extra chunk of change to do some shit or whatever. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
I own my house, so I have to pay all my fucking bills and own a couple of cars. I got that's car insurance. I'm just like, oh well, wouldn't hurt to have that little chunk of change. And like generally they're really accommodating. They'll fly you out to some nice hotel for a night and you just sit there, whatever. It's not like something that I'm like passionate about by any means. But I think that it seems like that side of it has kind of slipped away. Like I don't really get asked to do that kind of stuff anymore. I think the world is just in a different place where it's not like necessarily the biggest priority to get me to do a modeling campaign for someone, but yeah, sometimes it happens and it is what it is.
Go for it. Yeah, man. I mean, just another thing to add to your list that just keeps growing here.
Yeah, it's
golfer,
bizarre,
model.
I yeah, I don't know if I consider that, but yeah, it's one of those things that works out.
It's really cool. All right, so obviously this is from the video game. This is Riley. What's this trick?
I think I'm just doing a kickflip. It looks
kickflip.
Like. I don't know. I would assume.
Now, do you go in and like put those like virtual reality those things on to?
No,
I didn't. No,
I didn't do that, but I did a thing where it's like this big kind of orb that you go into that's got a bunch of cameras and you sit in the middle and they all flash at once, and then
Wow.
Also, like, you kind of have to make all these different facial expressions. It's a little weird and hard to do, but once you kind of just get over the fact of maybe looking dumb, you just kind of get it over with and do it.
Sure.
But yeah, I didn't do any of that stuff. I don't know who does that, but I think the goal is more to get the character looking similar to the person rather than the style. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always wondered that. Like, it's pretty cool. So it obviously catches all your facial expressions and even like your body type and things like that.
Yeah.
Do they make you do any moves at all, or you just strictly like?
No, I don't think I had to, honestly.
No? Gotcha. Very cool. Next picture we got Riley. I'm guessing you're on stage.
Yeah.
Slaying the guitar with the band here. Do you know when this was from, or is this recent?
I believe it was in Atlanta, and it was taken by a kid named Casey, I believe his name was.
Okay.
It was one of the first shows on a tour we were doing in the U.S. And I don't know. It was a cool show. There's a lot of people there, and they're super stoked. And we were playing with like a couple local bands that were really good, and so it was just a good energy.
Awesome, man. Well, I would love to get the chance to see you guys. That'd be great.
Yeah, I hope we get to play again.
All right. So, if I'm not mistaken, well, we got a guy on a dirt bike, and you're on the back on a skateboard, right?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Is this for a video, or is this?
Yeah, we were working on it. It's just like sometimes the things skaters do to get a little extra speed, and like that's in a ditch where it's kind of hard to get the speed you need to skate the spot. So we like that's my dirt bike actually. We like brought it down there, and my buddy towed me into it just to like, so you don't have to push and lose all your energy. You just get a quick little zip into it.
Okay.
And, no one seemed to bug us. That dirt bike's relatively quiet, so no one was really like concerned with it. We were in the ditch, I think right off of like the 605 and like kind of LA-ish area, so it's pretty rugged area, so no one's really too concerned.
Yeah. Very cool. Is that I mean, what would you say the speed you're going going at here?
Not too fast. I mean, maybe like 15 or 20 miles per hour tops.
Okay.
Just enough because it's just like the ground's rough and you lose all your energy just pushing at the thing. So once you get to the spot to try the trick, you're already exhausted.
Sure,
it's just like one of those situations.
Very cool. All right, so here I noticed you had a couple of pictures like this. Do you do these?
Yeah, I was working on them for a little while, like wood burning stuff. Just kind of was for fun, and I don't know. Some people dug them and wanted to buy some of them, and it wasn't like a thing I was doing as a career by any means, but I just had fun doing them. I think I was like having some injury stuff going on, and I was just passing time by trying to make some art. So that was like kind of where that led to.
Sure. In this picture, there's like 4 shots of David Bowie, like burned onto wood. There was a couple other ones. It was like Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
I think Ozzy on a horse.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. They're really fucking cool, man. I really dig them.
Yeah, it was fun. It's just like a weird thing to work on and thing to try to learn. And wood burning, it's like very tedious, but that's kind of why I think I liked it. It's just like a slow process. And
sure.
It's funny actually. I think I'm gonna be hopefully that version of Bowie for Halloween. I was thinking about it the other day. So my friend's gonna dye up my hair red and get a little trim, and do the whole thing.
You'd have to cut your hair pretty short. Or
I think not too short. Just like I don't know. I need a haircut anyways, so my hair grows back wildly fast somehow. But
so are these things you sold or? Yeah,
some of them I sold to friends. Nothing too crazy. I think the highest one I sold one for was like $400 maybe. Just kind of like the time and effort it was to put into it. We did like one art show with a couple friends here in Oceanside, and I had some of them up, and I think they sold most of them. So it was cool. I mean, it was cool that people liked them. I just kind of did them for myself, and people wanted them. So
very cool. Though, do you get any like commissions or anything like? Does anybody ask you for something specific?
Kinda, yeah. Some people did, and it was like cool, but it started to become, that thing of like, this isn't fun anymore. That's why I was doing it for someone else.
Sure.
Like, these ones are fun because I was doing it for myself, and I was like motivated and interested in it. So
absolutely. All right, so here we have Riley with one of my favorite people in the world, man, Jack Black.
Yeah. Oh my God. One of the best dudes.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why I wanted to bring this up, really, because I really have nothing to ask you about it except for how awesome is this fucking guy?
Yeah, he's great. He's like so cool. I mean, have you met him before or no?
Unfortunately, not. No.
Yeah, he's just as cool as you would think. He's hilarious and just real mellow and kind of like an anomaly of a human for how I kind of forget how much of a fucking A-list celebrity superstar he is, but he's really cool dude, like very mellow.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, even acting aside, like Tenacious D and everything, it's just like
yeah, exactly. Wow. Like the Pick of Destiny is one of my favorite movies ever. Me and my buddies like grew up idolizing that movie, so it's kind of surreal to meet him and be like, it's just weird when you meet someone you've watched a movie they're in so many times.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's one of a kind, man. He's really cool.
Epic human.
All right, so here we have Riley in, what do they call that? I don't know the technical term.
Tube, green room.
Tube, yeah, like a tube. He's surfing.
Yeah, surfing.
So is this recent or did you?
Yeah, that was within the last 6 months, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you surfed a lot before or is this kind of like?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, you have
surfing.
Okay.
Yeah, that is at Kelly Slater's wave thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up like 10 minutes tops from the beach my whole life, so I grew up surfing a lot.
What, besides the obvious of like falling and stuff like that, what are the like differences to you as far as between surfing and skating? Like the feeling of it, you know?
The feeling, I mean, it feels to me personally like surfing is a lot more of like a exercise when I get out. Like my upper body's really sore because you're paddling a lot. And I mean, one thing that I was joking about with my buddy recently is like it's kind of funny because when you're surfing, like you have to worry about actual creatures that can kill you, pretty much, like sharks and shit. And skating, that's not necessarily a thing, but you know, it'd be weird if you were skating and a fucking lion just came out of nowhere and ripped your arm off. Like it's kind of one weird parallel that doesn't match up, but but surfing is like, it's just cool because it's like real special when you get a good wave because it's not like a skate spot or a skate park where it's always there. It's like a cool moment, you know.
Sure.
What kind of keeps you chasing the dragon, I think, with surfing.
Absolutely. Are there any physical attributes to it that help you with skating?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the basic like comparison of standing on any type of board. I think like you just feel comfortable like standing on a whatever board of any form.
So like you would say more balance maybe or things like that.
Yeah, just being able to actually like feel comfortable on your feet.
Absolutely. All right, so this one we were talking about this before. You're doing what is this?
It's technically called an eggplant.
Eggplant.
Yeah, it's not a very good one, but it's a start.
It's Riley's on top of a half pipe, just holding on one hand and got the board switched over to his right side, planted on his feet, holding the board. Have you been doing more ramp stuff lately or no? Just
I was a bit around this era when that photo was taken, but me and my buddies were going and skating there a little bit. But as of lately, I haven't been as much. But I tried. I mean, my dad always tries to get me to, and he'll hit me up. So once in a while, I'll go skate it with him. It's just scary, honestly. It's a big fucking ramp, and it's intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we have Riley. How old are you here? Maybe 3?
Yeah, I guess that probably would be like 3.
We have Riley on a skateboard, and his father is holding his hands. Is this where it all began, man? Right.
Yeah, I think so. That might be the moment right there.
This is, this is in your blood, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Apparently,
crazy. So, and the next one, you're a little older here. Oh, I must have. Oh no, I didn't have that one. You're a lot older here. This is more recent.
Yeah, that would be pretty recent. That one.
I had a picture. I guess I must have missed it. It was. I guess you were. I would probably say around 9 or 10. And it was you and your dad. It was kind of a similar picture to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask you, is that kind of where you started, like really getting into it? You had the pads on and things like that.
Yeah, probably. I think like I was saying 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that is where the bug got me, and I was like in.
Very cool, man. And last but not least, we got Riley standing by a big chopper, man, big motorcycle. Yeah. Where are you here?
That's in Mammoth, actually.
It's beautiful.
Mammoth is like a mountain town, kind of like, I don't know exactly where, somewhere in the middle-ish of California, I believe.
Okay. Now, are you into riding? You're just started doing it?
No, I mean, I got my first bike, I think, when I was about 21, maybe. But my buddy who has a shop that's like literally a block from my house, me and him built that bike. It was already built, but we kind of redid it. And so, yeah, it's something that fascinates me a lot. Like, you know, building stuff and creating, drawing and whatever, that kind of shit is stuff that I'm really into. So it like keeps my brain occupied for sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, you certainly do it all, man. So very cool. Listen, man, you live a pretty amazing life, man. And
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Keep doing everything you're doing, and
try to not take it for granted, for sure.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see more videos and more of your music. Listen to more of your music, and hopefully get the chance to see you guys.
Yeah, me too.
So thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
This was really exciting for me.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm stoked. Sorry, it was a lot of back and forth to make it happen, but
no, it's all good, man. It's all good. Cool. One last thing I have to ask is, on a scale from 1 to hell fucking yeah, how stoked were you to be here today?
Pretty hell fucking yeah. I'm not a person who gets like, you know, ecstatic, but I was stoked to, you know, shoot the shit. I always like talking to new people, just learning some stuff about other people and myself.
That's fantastic, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And let's keep in touch, man.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Again. All right. Hope to hear the music again very soon.
Later, bud.
All right. Thanks, man.